Hello again. I want to look today at a couple of instances where grown men who identify as women have seemingly wished to spend time in the company of young girls, sharing in their activities. I am bound to say at once this is a slightly unusual tendency, and I'm not suggesting for a moment that it is one shared by all male to female transsexuals. It is nevertheless a distinct thing. The thumbnail to this video shows 50-year-old Gabriel Ludwig, formerly a male basketball player, but in the photograph playing with a team of girls aged between 18 and 20. I give a link to a little bit about that in the description to this video. I mean, why would you do that? One cannot help but feel that drawing attention to oneself in such a manner must at the very least indicate a streak of exhibitionism or some kind of fetish. Mind, that's nothing to what's going on in this country regarding sports. As a male, Maxime Blythin was a mediocre cricketer, but after transitioning, became Kent Woman Player of the Year in 29. I give a link to the Wikipedia page about this individual. The latest cricketing story about men playing as women is that of a middle-aged man who is now identifying as a woman and who has somehow been competing against 12 and 13-year-old girls. And, of course, sharing their facilities, the lavatories and so on. Apparently, this is a very fast and hard bowler, and some of the young girls have never before played cricket with proper hard balls like this. Mothers are outraged and ask some serious questions about the whole business. There's a thread on Mum's Link, to which I give a link. I suppose that my difficulty is wondering what on earth would motivate anybody at all to carry on in this way, never mind what gender identity they chose to adopt. Would a middle-aged person feel any great satisfaction at bowling out a 12-year-old who is just starting out at cricket? Surely most of us would rather compete against people who are our equals in size and strength, if we're going to go onto a sports field. The whole thing is distinctly rummy. Of course, from time to time, a darker side emerges when we see people who are physically male wishing to spend their time with very young girls. This is a danger because I'm sure that most transsexuals are not paedophiles, but some probably are. And I'm not at all sure how one would be able to distinguish between the ones who are a danger and those who are harmless. This is simply a matter of biology, of course. It's nothing at all to do with trans people or transsexualism at all. It's that people born without penises are almost inconceivably unlikely to interfere with young girls. But it is something that a certain number of those who were born with penises do get up to, whichever sex they identify as and however they dress. I will end by giving an update on the case of the 11-year-old girl who disappeared in a Scottish town a while ago and was found 24 hours later, following which a 53-year-old man was charged with abduction and threatening behaviour. It will be remembered that Andrew George Miller had for the last 6 years been dressing as a woman and calling himself Amy. Yesterday he appeared in court where he was further charged with sexual assault on a child by penetration, sexual exposure, causing a young child to look at a sexual image, and possession of indecent images of children. Obviously, it's impossible to say anything about this case because the whole matter is sub judice. However, I think that most of us would probably agree that whether in cricket or anywhere else, it might be a really good idea to ensure that adult men are not allowed too much unrestricted access to young girls, because it can at the very least lead to misunderstandings and embarrassment.